Welcome y'all, it's Wes with DIY Food Plot Pro. Thank you so much for joining us. We are out in the dove field. It is just emerging right now, so we have got to absolutely protect this dove plot from the high number of whitetails that we have in our area. Many of you know we are in a high density deer zone, well over 100 deer per square mile, and they are going to quickly work on this 2-acre dove field if we let them do that. Sunflowers are highly preferred by whitetails, especially when they're in that young stage, but really all the way through. So I'm going to show you how we're going to protect this plot and how we are going to try to keep these whitetails off this food plot and try to learn something while we do it. This is a 2-acre dove field planted in sunflowers 5 days ago. We have had good conditions, we've had good rains, and we do have sunflowers emerging now. We have started to see an uptick in the amount of deer tracks that are out in this field. So we want to go ahead and we want to try to protect this plot as much as we possibly can from all the surrounding farms and deer that are coming to this sunflower plot. I did a lot of scarecrows last year and they worked really, really well in my standing corn and standing beans. They actually did phenomenal. They are going to keep deer off that plot for usually 4 to 5 days, sometimes longer, as long as you're mixing it up. If you get lazy with it, you put it out and you don't move it, then all of a sudden you start getting into trouble. So all it takes is one deer going up there, going to your scarecrow, and then all the rest of them realize there's no danger there. So the best thing you can do is to keep these things moving around, switch some things up. I'm going to show you some tricks that I've learned. I was going to fence this food plot off because I really want to make sure that I have sunflowers growing here and I want to make sure that I have a crop here. When I was looking around for all the materials that I was going to need, it come up to about $700 in electric fencing material, everything from the T-post to the 4-foot temporary post to all the poly wire, the grounding rods, the chargers. I am going to 100% bring you guys on another food plot that I'm going to fence. It's more deer hunting related. I think it's going to be more relatable to what a lot of folks have. It's a small plot. This is still considered a fairly large plot with it being 2 acres, but I definitely want to protect this plot and I want to keep the deer off of it, but I don't really want to do it for $700. So I'm going to show you what all I've got in the Ranger. So we've got our first scarecrow in the ground. The way I like to do that is I build that on an 8-foot post, drive that down, and then I take a regular stick, what we call a tobacco stick, which is just, I think it's 56 inches, somewhere in there, 52. And I drive it down right behind it and I zip tie those together, a little bit extra support. Now, we have the visual for a deer, right? Any deer that's gonna be within a long ways is gonna see this visual and think this is a person. But what I've had the most success with is using more than just visual. So we're also going to use what a deer uses more than anything, and that's its sense of smell. I've got dryer sheets that we all dry our clothes in, and I have got Irish Spring soap that I have cut up that I'm gonna put inside this scarecrow. It's gonna look like a human, but it's also gonna smell like a human. So I'm simply gonna put some in the pockets. Then I'll take some dryer sheets, do the same thing, put them in the pockets as well. I wish you guys were here right now. So I got the scarecrow out and I also was going to use these noise deterrents. I bought them online. So the way they work is they pick up movement and then they send a siren off. It's got a little solar panel on the top. And basically what I did is I put 5 scarecrows out in this field, kind of equally spaced apart. And then I'm going back and I'm putting these in the center of them. The worst part about these, looks like to me, is that they only have a small range and that they're going off at every freaking car that goes by, and this thing is by a road. We'll listen real close and see if we can hear this or not, because the car's fixing to go by. You should see the looks that I'm getting right now. It is freaking hilarious. But here comes a Mustang going by. We're gonna see if this thing goes off. Apparently it's only bigger vehicles, because I had a truck and an SUV come by and both of them set that alarm off, and those people were like looking at me like I was nuts. So I ended up buying 2 different kinds. Both are solar activated because I didn't want to be screwing with batteries all summer long. This one is a whole lot more expensive. This is about 30 bucks a piece. It's got a whole lot of different sounds. So it's got like a gunshot, fireworks, wolves howling, a bear growling. It's got all kinds of weird stuff. I'll let you listen to that here in a minute. This one just has a straight siren and they both have strobe lights. So when they activate, the strobe lights go out. Best I can tell, they need 1 hour of sunlight a day to stay fully charged. Looking at them, I think this one's gonna be better, but maybe wrong, because these are about $10 a piece. I bought a 12 pack of these for like 119 bucks. These are $30 a piece. Be a little bit more expensive going around the whole field with these right here. I've got these scarecrows kind of placed around the perimeter, all the way around the perimeter of the field. So I feel like deer are not going to go right to them. I feel like they're more likely going, if they're wanting to come into this dove field, they're gonna split the middle between two scarecrows and come right in. So I'm putting these up so that when the deer come around here, they're not only seeing the scarecrow thinking it's a human, they're not only smelling the scarecrow, they're hearing a sound that's deterring them as well. I'll let you listen to these when I get these up. I simply have been driving those sticks into the ground, and then I take 2 zip ties and tie those together. And these basically you can just mount right in the ground. They already have a little thing right there and a ground stake, and you just mount them right in the ground. 360 all the way around. These are not. So these are only going to go out like this, where this one you could put, and it's gonna go all the way around because it's obviously got 3 different motion detectors on this. Here's the $30 one. It obviously comes with a stake and just pops in like that. Then there's an on-off switch right here that you push once you get it inserted in the ground. I love it. So you can see where I've got that one in. It's not detecting motion. Obviously that was that one. Hear it? Hear it going on? Car just went by and that one's going off. Let's see what this one makes now. This is just good fun right here. All the redneck and his toys. You can still hear that one going off down there. You can see the light lighting up. Bells. Hadn't heard that one before. It's the wild, wild west. Ooh, the wolf. I'm not gonna lie, you walk up on that in the middle of the night, it'd be a little freaky. So as you can see, I put 1 or 2 between each scarecrow, along the road as well, between the scarecrows. They're pretty sensitive and they go kind of nuts when you get close. I'll get close to one and let you hear what it. The worst part about them is they only pick it up between 5 and 8 meters. I just pounded this thing in the ground, so it may be broke. There it went. So my neighbors may end up absolutely hating me, but I feel pretty good about this. As long as these things will stay charged, I feel actually pretty good about this, especially to be in roughly $10 for the little ones, the red ones that are on the pole, 120 bucks there, 60 bucks for the other 2, so 180 bucks. I feel pretty good about this, that this is going to deter a lot of deer from going into the field, at least for a while. I don't know if this will be a long-term fix, but I think this is going to be something that will definitely hold them off for a little while these little sunflowers at least get established and get to growing. Crows have really been a problem out here. Blackbirds have been a problem. And deer, there's a ton of deer tracks out there. Obviously, there's nothing for them to eat right now. The sunflowers are just barely getting up, but it's changing fast and they are going to be, and then these deer are really gonna be in here. Scarecrows are obviously great for crows. They worked wonders for my corn plots last year. Had a lot of trouble with them. They're super easy to make. You essentially just build a cross. I usually try to build mine 7 to 8 feet, drive it in the ground 2 feet, and then I just put the shirt on, the pants, and then you just cut a hole in the pants, slide it up through there, and I zip tie it to the shirt. And then I just fill it with stuffing, or I've got some corn bags since we can't corn anymore. Had a ton of those left over. I just shoved those down in there. Also used just some filling that you get in stars like shipping boxes. So anything will work right there, and those work really good for the birds and for deer, really. But I think with this protection, I feel reasonably confident that this is going to be held off for a couple of weeks. Now, how much longer than that it's going to go, I don't know. I feel really good about that they will keep these whitetails off these newly emerged sunflowers. So I will definitely keep you guys updated with this plot and show you what happens in the summer, whether this can protect it. If this protects it, this is amazing, because this is an absolute high density deer zone. And if this works, this is going to be way easier, way cheaper than electric fencing. And this is going to be the way that I'll protect a lot of plots if this actually works. Reasonably cheap, super easy. I did all this in, I don't know, hour and a half or so, at the very most, a 2-acre field. Pretty excited about it. Hopefully it works, and hopefully I can bring some really good footage of these sunflowers to y'all, and we can have a lot of success hunting doves in September here in Western Kentucky. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Y'all smash that like and subscribe button if you hadn't already.